Hi, I'm David Hankins.
And I'm Paul Hankins.
And we're two of the three co-creators of everyone's favorite comic book, Power Squared. So welcome to another edition of A Week in Power Squared.
Yes.
And we're here to talk about, I guess, things are going on with the comic book. I guess this week, the biggest thing for us is we got 8 we call it thumbnails, 8 pages of thumbnails from Rachel.
Yes.
And that actually 2 sets of thumbnails, which we went through. And so she's working on those. Will be, I guess, the 8 pages we get this month from her, which is pretty cool. Trevor has done 4 pages of lettering.
Yeah.
So she's starting issue 12 and Trevor's working on issue 11.
Yeah.
Right. So, and so I think we're unrehearsed. I'm kidding. One of the things you might have noticed with the thumbnail on the video is that it's a sticker. We're talking about doing a Kickstarter. We've been talking about that for months, but we are getting serious about doing it. And one of the things we might offer is a sticker. And so that's sort of an example of what one would look like. We're also, again, looking for any suggestions anyone has about what they might like to see as a tier reward. So please, if you have any ideas, let us know. Right.
You can leave a comment or email us at
info@powersquaredcomicbook.com. It's really a long email address, but you can definitely, and that's also below as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This coming week, but the following week, we're going down to Comic-Con in San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego Comic-Con, number 50.
Right, and we get to go this year as professionals. Shows you the low threshold to get in. But so we're looking forward to that. We've kind of gone through the list of programs from Thursday through Sunday.
Yes.
And picking ones that are both kind of educational as well as fun, right?
Yeah.
And I guess we still have other things to go through to get prepped for it. But because we're going to Comic-Con, not next week, but the following week, this video will be a day later.
Yeah.
Since we're coming back on Sunday, and I don't think we'll have the
energy.
Yeah, or the gumption to actually do this. So we're going to put it off until Monday. So for the 5 of you that watch this regularly, it's going to be a little delay for you. And I guess everything we do related to the newsletter, if you're a subscriber, and if you're not, you can subscribe. There's a link below, right?
Yeah.
How to subscribe. That will also be delayed a day to the following Monday. But this week's and next week's both on Sunday, but just trying to lay a little groundwork ahead.
Right.
One of the things we've done the last couple of weeks is we've named the group.
Yes.
And everyone is the
Hound Dogs.
And the newsletter is now called the Hound Dogs Howl, which is named after the school paper. Just in case you didn't watch last week's video, where we talked about the same thing, just trying to cover the same ground.
You can watch that video there.
Right.
I think that's how this works.
Okay. I think one of the things we also got a notification from Artith Merrick, which is our print on demand supplier. I couldn't think of a consultant, or not consultant, but they're a supplier, I guess. They're going
on demand publisher.
There you go, on demand publisher. That's a much better way of saying it. They're going to provide us with a graphic novel.
Yeah.
Of a couple of our issues, and that's something that we might also incorporate just to see what it looks like. I think we probably we talked about doing a graphic novel from the comic book, and we have to do a little bit of editing.
Yeah, trade paperback.
Yeah, same idea. I think with them. I mean, I think they're talking about so many pages at a time, like 60 to 80 or something.
Right.
And it's something they think is big in the European market, as I read the email correctly. And it might be something that if we like it, we would offer maybe as a Kickstarter as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. We haven't seen it yet. But bear with us. So I think that's everything about the comic book. As we do sometimes when we've seen a movie related to comic books. We talk about it here.
Yes.
And this week, of course, it was Spider-Man Far From Home.
Or Spider-Man 7, if you're keeping track of all the live action ones.
Right. So what did you think?
I liked it better than I thought I would.
Right. Agreed.
I thought I was, at first after Endgame, I thought I was like kind of done.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've seen every Spider-Man, good or bad, so far, so we might as well see this one too. And I think it kind of works as an epilogue.
Yeah, sort of, you know, obviously keeps the franchise going because you know they don't want it to end, of course, and there'll be phase 4 and I'm sure 5 and 6 and on and on as long as they can keep it going. So they have to have some sort of epilogue to Endgame to sort of go, it's not totally over, it's still going, and for $12 a shot, you can go see what it looks like.
But with the movie itself, the acting was pretty good.
Yeah, actually, I liked it better than I thought it was going to as well.
Yeah, I thought Jake Gyllenhaal was good as Mysterio.
Right.
And then the action was also really good.
Right.
There's this one sequence that feels like it's very much out of a comic book. And that was like very visually fascinating and also kind of, I don't know, messes with you.
Yeah. So there was a lot of good stuff about it. And we actually have a review on Trophy Unlocked.
Like in the description.
Which, so you can go ahead and read that. Again, it's spoiler free, as hopefully this little talk has been as well.
Yeah.
We don't want to give it away, ruin it for Marvel, because they need all the help they can get. Anyway, so anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I guess I should ask a question related to Far From Home.
Okay.
Based on how it ends, without spoiling it,
okay,
would you keep watching?
Oh yeah, we've had this conversation before. I really kind of want to see what they do with Phase 4.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel like I've committed 10 plus years of my life to watching these movies, and I don't really necessarily want to plan the next 10 years. Every summer I'll be seeing 2 or 3 of these.
Yeah.
But it really depends on what they do. I mean, they haven't really announced, besides a Black Widow movie, what they're going to have in Phase 4. If Thor ends up being one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
That looks like a great idea. And it depends who they, I guess, it's, I don't know. It depends on what they introduce, because I know they've been pretty good about, Guardians of the Galaxy was not a major franchise for them, and now it's like, as far as a comic book goes, and now as a movie, it's a major part of it.
Yeah.
So it depends. I liked Captain Marvel, and I assume there'll be more with her in it as well.
Yeah.
But again, I'd like to see kind of what they plan out before I commit.
Yeah.
How about you?
Since there's no real plan for what they're putting out, apart from, I assume, more Spider-Man.
Well, I'm sure that Sony wants to keep that going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
there's no way they wouldn't keep that going.
I think they have to also, contractually, they have to keep putting something out with Spider-Man, at least characters in it.
Yeah, but I think I'd have to see what they decide to announce before deciding whether or not to keep committing.
I think it's kind of interesting if they're trying to make Spider-Man into the next Iron Man, that the Marvel franchise would sort of swing on a character that they don't actually control. I mean, obviously, because Columbia and Sony control that character. Yeah. So you'd be putting your whole I guess maybe not. I mean, it depends what they end up doing. But I
think right now it's like a joint control over the movie version, but Sony can still kind of do whatever they want to, which is why Venom exists.
Right. Yes, why Venom exists. But I mean, I think it's interesting that they would share control, and maybe they're not going to use. Maybe Spider-Man is going to be the occasional character, and not be the focus of Phase 4, which is the way Iron Man was kind of the head of the Avengers.
Sort of the main character of the MCU in a way.
Yeah, so it's the replacement character may not really be that function in going forward.
Yeah,
but it just seems odd that you're on face value. You're thinking, well, they're making Spider-Man into the next Iron Man, and that's kind of the face of the franchise. And it's a different situation with the character than they control all the other Marvel characters. I guess I assume the Hulk as well.
Yeah,
even though Universal did something with it, and now they own Fox, so they own all the other stuff as well.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that wraps up this video.
So
if you like this video, leave a like. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe,
right.
Ring the notification bell if you want to see exactly when these go up. Leave a comment if you have any thoughts on any of the things we discussed here.
Yeah.
Or if you have any suggestions for what you want us to talk about.
And you can write us at info@powersquaredcomicbook.com if you just love typing out things. And that's of course a link below.
Yeah.
And you can subscribe to our newsletter. That's also a link below.
Yeah.
If you haven't already. And tell your friends. Hey.
Share this video even.
Yeah. Won't kill us.
So until next time.
I'm David Hankins.
And I'm Paul Hankins.
And this has been a week in Power Squared.